At this time of year, I get questions from chili growers about one specific problem more than almost any other. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit in this video. I'm going to explain why it happens. And also, we're going to talk about why it actually isn't anything to really worry about. Today we're going to do a garden update, and I'm going to show you around my chili plants, but we'll go and check out the big greenhouse first. We'll have a look at some of those plants and see how they're getting on. We're also going to check out the ChilliChump seed kit plants and compare them to how yours are going. And we're also going to take a quick look at the eBay and Etsy experimental plants, as well as the so-called Pepper X. Wow, it's nice and warm in here. Let's actually have a look. So 27.4 degrees in here and 17.4 degrees outside. Now you'll notice something I haven't done in previous years, and that is potting up to 3-litre pots. So I will do a video dedicated to this. It's a bit of an experiment I'm running this year. Should help you guys out that are growing in more limited space. We'll follow that through to the end of the season. So most of my pots are 7.5 litres, 10 litres, or 12 litres over here. So those are my main final potting up. Of course, I do have a few that are in much bigger pots. That's 160 litres. And over there, that is 90 litres. And over there, I think that is 60 litres. So mostly, yeah, 10s, 7.5s, and a couple 12s, and then the rest. But these plants are looking beautiful. Look at this, all that new growth happening up there. Stunning. We do have a lot of ants again this year. Don't really like that. We'll try and figure out what we do to get rid of it. If you have any suggestions, please leave some comments down below. I've already tried borax. That's not working too well, but if you have any other suggestions, I would be open ears. So the aphid problem, you can see a couple plants still have the remnants of the aphid issue that I had, but majority of them, like this here, are just gorgeous, beautiful, fresh leaves. Look at that. So these plants, they might look quite small right now, and I did pot them up a little bit later than what some people might pot up their plants. But the thing is, these things are just primed, ready to grow massive. The root system is what you really want to concentrate on right now. So even if these don't show any growth within the next month, I'm more than happy with that, because I know that they're healthy. And as long as they're healthy, they are doing something, and whether they're growing on top or whether they're growing underneath, they're going to be doing something. So if I don't see any growth on top, then I know that the root system is getting massive, and that's my main goal. Like 90% of my goal is to have a massive root system, because that means I can feed the hell out of them and water the hell out of them later on in the season, and it'll just give us even better harvests. It's really recovering now, but this here is my let pot system, and I started these plants quite late. Now what you'll notice I've done is I've actually switched this off. I'm not using the light anymore that's up here. But what I've done is I've put in my air bubbler that's going in there, and that's pushing some air up. And ever since doing that, these plants have almost doubled in size. They had a bit of an aphid attack as well inside the grow shed, and also, geez, tons of ants. Not great. It's live stream time again this Sunday at 5 p.m. BST. It's the first Sunday of every month. We do a live stream. Myself and Mrs. ChilliChump host it. It's an opportunity for us to spend some time with you guys, answering your questions, chatting about what's been going on the last month or so. Join us on Sunday if you've never been before. It's very, very chilled out, very relaxed. Bring a coffee, bring a beer, depending on what time it is for you. I'll always have my beer at the ready. In fact, I have a little something to show you guys once we do the live stream, something I've been asking for a long time, and I finally got it thanks to a wonderful viewer. And yeah, that is 5 p.m. BST on Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you all there. We've even got some fruits coming through, and that's because these were left in the pot a little bit too long. This here is a cayenne, and yeah, you can see that coming through. Actually, let's take it off. When they're this young, you don't really want them fruiting just yet. You want them to focus on growing. Actually, I have another one down there. You want to focus on the plant growing, and you want to focus on the roots growing. But beautiful little plant. That one there is desperate for some water, and that's also because it actually has a fruit on it, which I need to take off. So what is that? That's a candy cane chocolate. Don't need that, and we're going to give it some water as well in a second. We'll actually go around and water them after I finish doing this video. Everyone that has a dripper in Those are all from the experiment that I'm doing with the Etsy seeds and eBay seeds, as well as the Pepper X. These plants are not all staying inside the greenhouse. These are going to shift out into either the polytunnel or the other greenhouse or that greenhouse. If you're wanting to know what I'm using to scan, that's the so-called Pepper X. This is Seedsio. This is an application I built free to use, so go and check it out, seedsio.com, and it allows you to, well, easily keep track of things and post information in. That's a 7-pot Primo. Again, that doesn't have a dripper in, so that one is going to be moved out, but that is a beautiful 7-pot Primo. Let's take a look back here. That is a Tiger mix, again from the eBay Etsy experiment. That's from Holy Fire Chili Company. That's quite a cute little plant. Let's see what that is. That's a red tiger, and that's also from Holy Fire Chili Company. So we also need some water back there. Got a bit of watering to do. Let's take a look down the line and see what else we have here. I did see some pods coming through on another plant. So yeah, that is a Buena Mulata, and 16 weeks old. And it's got some beautiful fruit in it already. But I will take those off too. And that's just a good tip for you guys if you are seeing fruit at this early stage. You really don't want them on there. Even these flowers, as gorgeous as they are, I mean, those are beautiful little things. You want to take those off, get the plant to grow a bit bigger, because that's still got quite a bit of growing to do and quite a lot of season left. Look at this. This plant is growing like crazy. What is that? See all that new growth? It's stunning. So let's have a look. Pepperdew. One of my stunning pepperdews. One of the loveliest tasting chili plants out there. I think this plant is going to be a fantastic example to show you guys what I was talking about in the beginning of this video. So the question I get is about leaves, especially at the stage where you're bringing your plant outdoors, whether you've just potted them up or you've just taken them outside of your indoor grow space. You bring them outdoors and you start seeing leaves doing things like that. Or curling in like this, or falling off. So you can see some leaves have already fallen off here. Do not worry about it. It's not a problem. In fact, you can go and take these leaves off, and that's often a good thing to do because you can see those new leaves coming through. As long as you are seeing new leaves coming through like this, you are perfectly fine. These old leaves grew in an environment that is completely different to what the environment is now. They didn't have direct sunlight, so they grew bigger so they could absorb more sunlight from your grow lights, because your grow lights can never equal the output of the sun. And as soon as you bring them outdoors, they're not built for the sunshine. Most people think that leaves are just there to capture light, capture sunlight, and that's not the case. They also help cool the plant down, and they do this through a process called transpiration. So similar to what I'm doing right now, I'm sweating, perspiration. With plants, they do the same thing, but they use the process of transpiration. So that cools the leaves down. It allows the leaves to pull in more sunlight, stops them from crisping up, dying, and going yellow, and other problems that you may see. The thing is that the leaves will adapt to whatever environment they're in. So if you're starting your plants inside a nice cozy internal environment, even if you have the best grow lights in the world, they're not going to be as strong as the sunlight. So when you bring them outdoors, those leaves aren't exactly ready, which is why we go through the process of hardening a plant off, is to help them develop new leaves so that they can effectively manage this big sunlight that they suddenly have. You can see all that new growth coming through. Those new leaves, they're going to be smaller, the veins are going to be closer together, which means they can more effectively absorb the sunlight, and they're going to be able to cool down very well. So these leaves that you see that are doing this, as long as you are seeing that new growth, go and take these old leaves off. You don't need them, because all they're doing right now is shadowing the nice new leaves that are coming through there. And if you don't want to go and pluck all the leaves off, that's fine too, because they'll fall off on their own once the plant doesn't need them anymore. So this plant here is absolutely gorgeous and perfect, and it's going to be an absolute monster. Beautiful. My ChilliChump Seed Kit 2024 plants are all over this side of the greenhouse. Just make it nice and easy for me to show them to you as we go through the season. How are yours doing if you are growing from the seed kit? These here are looking healthy. I hope yours are as well. I'm sure quite a few of you are getting much bigger plants than I have already, because you did start a bit sooner than me. I've seen some amazing photos on the Facebook group, which you should go check out, the ChilliChump Facebook group, CCFB on Facebook, and plenty of people sharing what they're growing. You can also go and share on the Discord server, the ChilliChump Discord server. Again, I'll leave links down below. Let's have a look at these plants. I think this one here is a CC Peri Peri, and we can quickly check. Yeah, that is a CC Peri Peri, 16 weeks old. That there is a Hainan Yellow Lantern. That's beautiful. Lots of new growth coming through. It's always what I'm looking for, new growth. These little leaves popping out, that tells me the plant is happy and healthy, regardless of what you're seeing with these other leaves. See new growth coming there. These are going to be monsters. What do we got here? Another CC Peri Peri. CC Jalapeno. That needs to grow because I want some jalapenos for my barbecues. And that one, another CC Peri Peri. So we've got quite a few of those. And then obviously the pepperdew over there. Over here I think is a Ring of Fire. Yeah, that's a Ring of Fire, and that is from February the 4th. That again will start growing massively. And you can see all the new growth coming there between the nodes. Look at all that new growth. That is stunning. Dark green leaves. See the lighter leaves here? Actually, I'll take those off. Don't need to be there. You can see one has already fallen. That is also from the ChilliChump seed kit. That is the Bleeding Jigsaw, and yeah, I'm pleased with that so far. Look at all that beautiful, beautiful new growth. Love it. There's actually another good example of what I'm talking about. I think we've seen enough examples here, but you can see these new leaves popping through. More than happy with those. So at first glance, you'd have a look at that plant from afar and you'd think, oh, that's got problems. But look a bit closer, and when I look at it, I see a very healthy, gorgeous plant that is going to do fantastically as the season progresses. You actually see one of these leaves just rotted and fell off. But those don't need to be on there. You can see, I mean, that looks like some serious problems if you had to look at that in isolation. But when you take a look at the plant as a whole, you've seen this new growth, you have nothing to worry about whatsoever. There you go. Let's take those out. I don't want them sitting on top creating problems. That is all nicely connected now. We've got loads of bits and pieces lying around. I still need to tidy up in here, and we will get that done. Been very, very busy doing all this stuff. But this whole system here is working brilliantly. I'm very, very pleased. It's all connected. So this is just a reservoir tank that I use to mix all my nutrients. Or I can just use plain water in there if I want, which means also it warms the temperature of the water a little bit, and it's not freezing cold water shocking the plants. So you can see out there, those, if I brought the water in directly from those IBCs, it'll be a lot colder than the water that's in here. In fact, I can feel this. It's probably sitting at about 18 degrees Celsius, or whatever the average is inside here. And that means that when I water the plants, it's not shocking them, and yeah, they're more likely to take up the water and doesn't set them back at all. But yeah, really happy with this. We've got those 3 IBCs connected together on the outside. It's not connected directly to this. This here, I pump water in. But those 3, there's 4 over there, it's another 4,000 liters. 2,000 liters there, it's another 2 there. And we have a 10,000 liter tank sitting behind the hedge over that way. And if we go outside into the cold, at least it'll cool me down a little bit, because it's getting quite warm inside that greenhouse. But the weather forecasters say that we're due about 50 days of rain over the next coming while. That sucks. I was really hoping for the heat wave that we were promised the week before that. They can't make up their mind, so we'll see how it goes. Make the most of whatever weather we do get. But let's have a look here. This is the new greenhouse, and I've been working in here. We've been, well, firstly I put all the water vents on, so the windows are now opening properly. That took a little bit of time. I've also started fitting the staging. I actually lost some parts for the staging. You see those little brackets, you might be able to see it from the outside here. These little brackets over here that you use to put these panels on for the staging. Well, one pack of them was missing, so I couldn't actually put any brackets on the other side there. Contacted Rhino, who make this, so Rhino Greenhouses, and fantastic customer service. They didn't even argue. They just said, yep, we'll get some in the post to you, and by the next day I had replacement parts. So I need to finish that off maybe tomorrow, spend a bit of time doing that. But then I can finish that off and we can start putting some of the plants in here as well, because we've still got quite a lot to pot up. But back to the water tanks. This is another 1,000 liters. I've also got this all connected here. This is just tied on because I've glued this and I didn't want it to move while it was setting. But that's been collecting water. These tanks are all full with all the rain we've had, and I'm not worried about them filling up this year. But in the future, when we do have more of a drought like we've had in the past, 3 years ago I think, we went through about 3 months without any rain, and that's a bit of a problem here. So all these tanks collecting water, I've got a total of about 21,000 liters, and I think that'll do me fine throughout a season as long as they're all full up. Let's go take a look at the small greenhouse. We can see some of the plants that I still have to pot up, and as you can see, there are quite a few of them. I'm hoping to have everything potted up within the next 2 weeks, maybe even 10 days. We'll get them all finished potting up and we can start them on their journey. We can see there's some more plants here that have actually been potted up because I ran out of space in the large greenhouse. But these ones here are potted up and they're looking good. These ones aren't looking too fantastic. They really need to get potted up. You can see here these are desperate to get some potting up going on. These are tomato plants that I had spare because I have planted out my tomato plants. I'll show you that in just a sec. But these plants are looking good. We've got some marigolds. Actually, we've got some marigolds coming through. I need to plant these out into my raised bed inside the polytunnel, as well as pot the other ones up, because if you're not aware, I grow marigolds because they attract hoverflies, and hoverflies eat aphids. So you want as many of those around as you can. And these marigolds, French marigolds, they're absolutely brilliant for that, and they look pretty. They smell decent. So great companion plants. Chicken, you get out of here. We had a chicken come in here earlier on in the season and I didn't realize it, and it made a big old mess. So you need to get out. Yeah, it made a big old mess. It tore up some of the plants. It knocked over quite a few of them. It ate a lot of the young leaves, but thankfully didn't lose any plants. So we have kind of closed this off with a bit of netting, which goes all around the raised beds for now. I want to do something that looks a bit better than that in the future, but we're doing that to keep the chickens out and also to keep Barney out, because Barney goes in here and starts digging everything up. So we're a bit behind on some of the planting out here because I've been so focused on getting the new greenhouse up and running and some of the other stuff I've been doing in these greenhouses. But we have got our corn in, so that's going nicely. Those should hopefully start growing once the temperatures increase. We have, of course, my tomatoes. These are for my sauces. These are San Marzano 2. They are beautiful, meaty tomatoes that don't have a lot of seeds, and they grew very well last year. So the season has got off to a pretty okay start. There's a few things that I would have loved to improve. The aphid problem, of course, next year I've got some ideas, so we'll sort that out. But as you can see, the plants aren't too worse for the wear because of that, thankfully. And potting up probably could have happened a little bit sooner, but again, I think with the setbacks from the aphids, that's slowed things down a little bit. But full recovery once we improve the weather. This wind really is horrible, and yeah, we've got some big old rain clouds over us. Can't wait to show you guys the next update. In about a month's time, I'm sure that most of my plants will be nearly double in size, maybe even a bit bigger, fingers crossed. And yeah, we're going to start seeing some fruit coming through. It's just a wonderful time of the year. Hopefully this weather has improved as well, because it's shocking right now. I hope that your plants are getting along fantastically. If you have any problems, any questions, ask down below and I'll do my best to answer. And once again, thank you all so much for watching my videos, for being subscribed to me, for supporting me, messaging me, and just being there for me. I really do appreciate it. Until the next video, thank you so much for watching, and stay spicy.